Here's the biggest issue I have with having a strict TBR instead of mood reading. So it's night 1, it's May 1st, right? I have been putting off reading all day. You know, I really only have 2 options that I can read right now, which is Frankenstein and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I have both of those readily available. I could read them at any time. The problem is that I want to read everything but my TBR. And this happens every single time. I tell myself I'm gonna have this like strict TBR and this is what you have to read and you're gonna do it, right? And then because I have to do it, I just don't. But I know for a fact that if I didn't have a strict TBR, that I would just be sitting here indecisive as hell trying to pick my next read for 15 days. Like, that's what happens every single time. Because I'm even telling myself right now, like, oh, I wish I could be reading this. Like, I want to read this right now. Oh, it's not on my TBR. And it's like, girl, you would not be reading it even if you had the opportunity. Like, you're just saying it because it's what you can't read. And it is so frustrating. Like, I feel like I just need to talk to a therapist about this. Anyways, I was sitting downstairs complaining that like, oh, I just wish I could be reading right now. Like, I wish I could be reading. And Josh made it easy for me and he put on Jackass downstairs, which I loathe the Jackass films, like the whole thing. I just hate it so much. And he knew that putting that on would just, you know, set me off. And essentially I was like, okay, going upstairs to read. And here I am. So thanks, Josh. You've given me no choice. I have decided, though, that I'm just going to read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow first because it's the easiest of my 2 options. But I have my Kindle right here, so I think I'm just going to read it in bed. Good morning. I'm gonna do a real quick update while I try this new coffee I got. So American Honey, my favorite coffee place, they do different specials for each month. And so for the month of May, they had one called a blackberry blossom latte, and it's like blackberry and lavender, I want to say. So I'm really curious. I always add an extra shot and I always get oat milk. So we'll see how it is. The sun is very bright. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna have a sun sneeze. Ew. So glad you can't see any of that. Anyways, that was good. And real quick, I'm gonna give you an update on my reading because I have to get back. Lennon is asleep, but like she'll be up soon, so I know that I need to get back over. Don't worry, she's not by herself. But anyways, I started reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I got a quarter of the way through, and I'll say 2 things. One, it's very readable. Like, it's a fast-paced, fast-moving story, which I like. I love a book that I can like fly through. The only thing that sucks is that these characters are the worst. Like, I thought that this was going to be some sort of fluffy, like, I don't know, cute little romance between these 2 characters and that we were really going to like them. But they suck. Like, I don't understand why people like these characters so much. I'm only a quarter of the way through, so maybe they change and grow and go through some shit. But, like, right now, they're just so not fun to root for. Their personalities are kind of shitty. And it's hard for me to, like, enjoy reading about them when I have to like be around them. But you know what? I signed up for this and we're doing it, and just because characters are crappy doesn't mean that a book is bad. I know that, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be enjoyable. So I'm gonna head back home and I'll catch up with you when I've done more reading. Oh my god, I underestimated just how much of a menace a 13-month-old can be in a library. We went and stopped at the library because I had a book on hold, which of course was not on my May TBR, but I got it anyways. In my dreams I hold a knife. I was gonna get something for her, but I don't trust her with anything but board books, and they didn't really have a lot of board books, so we took the L. But she got to play and run around and talk to other kids, so she was really happy about that. But now, I think we're gonna stop at Home Goods on the way home because we have a brand new one that just opened. So we may go there. I'm not sure. My stomach was kind of hurting in the library. Does anybody else get that? She just threw her cup. There's a thing, it's not scientifically proven, but there's a thing that people often have their stomach hurting and feeling like they need to go to the bathroom when they go to a bookstore or like they're just surrounded by books. Happens to me every time. If I'm feeling good when we pass like the Home Goods area, I'll go into Home Goods, but if not, we're just gonna go home. I feel very good. Like, I'm glad we got out and did something this morning. Oh no, there's a little guy. We went to Home Goods. I'll have to post a little bit of a haul, but I'm not gonna do that until she goes down for a nap. It'll probably be in like an hour and a half. But for now, we just stopped at the soccer field to do some running around, which for her is just gonna be trying to eat leaves and me not letting her eat the leaves. But we'll probably stay out here for a couple minutes. And then we'll go home, get everything unloaded, and get ready for nap time. Okay, Home Goods haul. Be fast because Lennon's being a menace, but we needed a new drying mat for our dishes. So I got this one, like this beige color. Ours are very old. Look how cute these little oven mitts are, because the ones that we have are the ones that I bought when we first got the house, and they're really crusty and gross. So I got these ones. And then I got an egg holder. Seen these all over Instagram. So nice and aesthetically pleasing. So I really like getting my mugs for my coffee seasonally. I have 2 Christmas mugs, 2 Halloween mugs, and then I was looking for 2 spring/summer mugs. I've been looking everywhere and I could not find anything. And then when I went to Home Goods today, I found these. They're so pretty, like with the little honeycombs, and it's got the butterfly.
Girl, that's a bumblebee.
And it's like this, almost like a purple color. I just thought those were so pretty. So I found my spring summer mugs, and they're big, which I love, like a big fat mug. So I'm really excited. The last thing that I got are 2 of these guys that you can put like your fruits or veggies in the fridge. We like weekly have raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. We always have something because we always want to have something for Lennon. And I just really like the idea of getting them out of their containers and just like giving all my fruit a good wash and putting them in these guys. So I got 2 of them. So I'm gonna put all this away, and I'm gonna actually like clean up the whole kitchen and like organize it when Lennon goes down for a nap, which will probably be in like an hour. For now, it's just like survival mode until it's time for her to take a nap, and she's being suspiciously quiet right now. Forgot to give you guys a little update on the Arrow Garden. So look at how much the salad greens have already sprouted since the last vlog. How long ago was Earth Day? And then look, the little tomato guys are coming out too. Not all of them. This one is, that one hasn't yet, and I don't think this one has either in the back. So the 2 guys in the back haven't, but these guys have. I'm watching some really old Riley Marie videos while I clean up, but like, can we talk about this? I washed my berries and put them in their little containers. There we go. How beautiful is this? Just the concept of like putting your berries in one of these guys. I feel so fancy. I'm obsessed. My PJs, it's PJ time, PJ tour. I hate to say this, and you might hear Lynn in the background because she's awake and I need to make her lunch. But anyways, I'm thinking about DNF'ing tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I feel terrible, but I am hating this. And I know myself, and I know that when I hate something as much as I am hating this, that I shouldn't stick with it. I don't think I'm going to. I might try like one more time, but I don't know, y'all. Here's my problem that I'm having with tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. The characters are absolutely insufferable. Like, I hate them. Like, I completely understand that no character is going to be, you know, perfect, and I can understand that maybe the author is trying to have characters like being shitty humans and making shitty decisions because that's life and that's just how we are. But the thing is like, these characters are just so unlikable and I don't want to be around them. Like, this energy is really bringing me down. It's like when you go to a party and you can tell that there's like a black cloud at, you know, like the corner of the room that is just not going to be a fun person to hang out with, and then you meet them and they're just sucking the life out of you and they're like exhausting to be around. That's how these characters are to me. I think it's supposed to be grumpy sunshine between her and Sam. Sam's got his own set of problems, but Sadie specifically is the one that is very hard to read about. The characters just suck. They suck. And I am a character-driven reader, and even if I wasn't, this doesn't even have much of a plot. So like, if I was a plot-driven reader, it's not like this is necessarily action-packed. They're making a video game, so it's like, maybe it's action-packed if you really like video games. The thing is I don't really foresee these characters getting better for a while, because I think that the author's intent is to like show how shitty these people are, and I think that it's just gonna get worse and worse, and then somebody's gonna do something unforgivable. You know, it'll show the impact of that, and my assumption is by the end they'll forgive each other and fall in love or something. That's my assumption. And I just don't know that I can sit through another however many pages of just shitty characters being shitty to each other and it getting worse and worse and worse. Mentally, I don't know how much I can take. I just didn't expect the first read of my May TBR challenge to be like this, so it's kind of like, it's a bummer that I would even have to potentially DNF for the first read of the challenge, and it does low-key make me feel like a failure for this whole challenge, but I just don't know if I can continue to read this without like falling into a slump. So I'm gonna think on it. Like I said, I'm making Lennon's lunch right now. I'm gonna like give it a second, you know, think about it in my mind and try to process if I want to continue or not. Because right now, I think if I just continue, I'm just gonna make y'all more mad. A little bit of an update. I haven't gotten to do any reading. Lennon had another reaction to something during lunch, and I was trying to figure out what it was, which of course is like, it takes forever, and your mind can just spiral thinking of all the things that it could be, and you know, then you get so like self-conscious because you've been trying to avoid all of the allergies. Hold on, your little, there you go. But you know, I try my best to avoid all of her allergens, and none of them were in this meal, but she still had hives, and so I'm like, it's so frustrating. This has been an ongoing thing, so I guess if you know us personally, you know that she's had this reaction multiple times now, and for the life of us, we're just we're so confused. But yeah, I haven't gotten to do any reading because I've been so focused on that. I just don't know when I'm probably not gonna be able to read anything until tonight when she goes to bed. There's your update. And then the thought of like having to go back to tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I think that's the biggest thing, is since becoming a parent and having your alone time be so sparse, like it's just so small. I don't want to spend it reading books that I'm not enjoying. And so sitting here and reading this book and hating it, and then I get like an hour, maybe if I'm lucky, after she goes to sleep to myself, and I have to spend that hour reading this book that only makes me mad? Like, no way. Life is too short. I don't know. I think I'm going to end up DNFing it, man. I'm going to go ahead and DNF tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I'm just not liking it. It's not working for me. If it's your favorite book, I'm like so happy for you. It's a book for everyone. It's just not my book. But, so I went back to my Goodreads and sorted my TBR pile by average rating, and Happy Place is actually the highest average rating if you don't count, there was one nonfiction, which I don't really want to read in the current moment, and all the others were sequels. So if you go past the sequels and you go past the nonfiction, Happy Place is the one with the highest average rating. That worked out perfectly. So I've got it on my Kindle now, and we're going to start that. We're going to start that tonight. That's going to be the vibe. We're going to forget about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. She doesn't exist. I don't know her. My friends and I like to do a weekly game night or movie night, depending on the week. And this week, we're doing a movie night. And so it's really cute and wholesome, and I love it. We all pick a movie, and we put it in like a polls, and we vote for the movie we're gonna watch. And the suggestions are already perfect, so I feel like no matter which one wins, I'll be happy. Yeah, it'll be a nice way to end the night after this very overwhelming afternoon. I'm not saying the day sucked. The day did not suck by any means. We had a really nice morning of going to the library and going to Home Goods and going outside for a little bit. Like I got to clean the kitchen. We had a really fun time. I'm not gonna let the allergic reaction get me down and make my whole day crappy. It's hard because, you know, I'm just like constantly looking at her now, like, are you okay? It's hard. It's difficult. It's been a hard afternoon. Good morning. I am here to update you that I read about a quarter of Happy Place by Emily Henry last night, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy I made the decision to not read tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and just do Happy Place instead. I am having such a good time. I was told by my friend Alyssa, who's always right, by the way, that this book was going to be one that I really liked and that I would like the main character a lot. And I do. I love her. I love everything about this story so far. It's like a summer in Maine, and it's got exes fake dating and a lovely like found family aspect, and I'm just having such a good time. Like, I'm so glad that I made the decision to read this instead. It's a book that like I already want to buy so that I can annotate it, and just like it's shaping up to already be a favorite. It makes me really happy. So I'm gonna try to get some reading done today, hopefully. But for now, I just need to wake up, have some coffee, and I think I want to go onto YouTube and try to find a bunch of people's April wrap-ups and May TBRs and stuff like that. obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm on chapter 10 of Happy Place, and I just could not be happier to be reading it. One thing you got to know about me is that I love a good romance with an already established relationship. Whether we're like in the middle of a relationship that's been going on, whether it's like childhood friends to lovers, or in this case, it's like they were engaged, now they're broken up, but they're fake dating because they haven't told their best friends that they broke up. It just makes me so happy. I also find the character, I see a lot of myself in Harriet, not just in like her personality and her, I don't know, little quirks, but in her fears and her thought process. Like a lot of it just feels so much like me. Even her like family dynamics, everything. She feels like home. I am loving everything about this. I'm loving it so much. And there's a found family dynamic. It's this group of friends. Harriet, Cleo, and Sabrina met in college as roommates. And so they kind of started this friendship group, and it's grown as they've each gotten like respective partners. It's so adorable to just see the group of them together. They're in Maine having this summer vacation. They haven't seen each other in, I think it's been like a year, maybe longer, but I think it's been a year. And I guess they take this trip to Maine every year, or at least they try to. It became a tradition for a long time to go to Maine and spend the summer together. Something about just the idea of going on like a beachy vacation with your group of like your closest friends, your found family, and having those memories and stuff, it feels very close to home, because my best closest friends and I used to go to a beach house almost every summer for like a while. For years we would go to this beach house that Josh's grandparents owned, and we had so many memories there starting when we were teenagers in high school. And so to have those memories with your closest friends, and again, this is resonating so much to me because we ended up losing the beach house. Like his grandparents sold it, and it was the most devastating thing. Still is, low-key, the most devastating thing. So it's all very surreal. It's just a little too close to home. But I'm loving it to the point where it's just like, I don't want to put this down. Like I just don't want to let go of it. It feels like it's a part of me, and I feel lonely when I have to like go without it during the day. And it hasn't even been 24 hours of reading this book. This is what I needed. And I'm so happy to be reading this book. Have I said that already? I'm so happy to be reading Happy Place. Y'all, would you believe it if I told you that I have been living, laughing, and loving within the last 24 hours of reading Happy Place? Because I didn't know it was possible. I made it to almost the halfway point last night with Happy Place, which was so fun. I got completely sucked into the story, where like, it's always the best feeling when you are like laying down in bed reading and time goes by so fast and you just kind of forget. And I checked my phone at one point because I was like, oh crap, how long have I been reading? And it was midnight, and I was like, oh my God, like I gotta stop. The story just has me in a chokehold. I'm a sucker for this kind of story. And I will say that Miss Emily Henry, she knows how to effectively write the like miscommunication, lack of communication trope. That is one of my least favorite tropes, mind you. And actually, it was present in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And I just like the way that it was done from what I had read in that story. It was so frustrating. But with Happy Place, it makes sense. If you've been engaged to someone and you've been with them for a really long time and you break up, and now you're in this situation when you have to like fake date and pretend that you're still engaged, you realize like you're not entitled to a lot of information that you used to be entitled to when you were together. And that's kind of what Harriet is realizing.
Like, I don't have the right for him to hang up the phone and come and tell me like, oh, guess who just called? That's not how it works anymore. Or like, she can ask how his mom is doing and he can say fine, but he doesn't have to elaborate anymore. And that like feeling of being completely locked out of someone's life that you spent so much time with and you knew everything about them and now you know nothing. So well done. I love them. Not to mention, the book is very effectively like steamy, and the tension and the fake dating is superb. You really get into this couple, and just their dynamic is really fun to watch. And the found family in general, the whole group of characters, it's so nice, and it feels authentic, which I love. I love when you can read a story and you see this like found family aspect and they feel like real people. They're not one note, and I'm loving it so much. So today is going to be a pretty chill day, I think. I do have some cleaning I need to do while she naps, but other than that, I think we're just going to be vibing. Okay, I was able to distract her with a snack so that I can say my thoughts, because I just finished Happy Place, and y'all, it was so good. It tore me up. It literally, like, it devastated me. I haven't binged a book like that in so long that it just felt right. Like, it's a book. I don't even have it physically. I have it on my Kindle. I hugged my Kindle after like oh my God, a piece of my heart. 5 out of 5 stars. New favorite book of the year. Arguably, maybe my favorite romance I've ever read. I gotta think on that. But it's like what comes to my mind, because I just like, oh my God. My issue with a lot of romances is that like they follow the same beats every time. So it's hard for me to care. There's so much in this story that's not just about their romance. There's so much about just found family and taking chances, and it just has a lot to say about what's important in life. And she spends so much time in the novel describing her happy places. Makes you think about your happy place, and like my happy place is here. It's when Josh comes home after work, and it's getting Lennon out of bed in the morning. It's Ellie's really excited run after she takes a dump outside. Like, all of those things are just, they're so simple, but they're the most important things that I could ever have. I don't know. This book, my friends, when they text me and want to make plans, or when somebody sends something dumb in my group chat that's just like the most hilarious thing I've ever read. That's what life is about, man. This book has got me deep in my feelings, and I'm so happy. Emily Henry, thank you. If you're watching this, and I know you're not, thank you so much for existing. Okay, Lennon is currently laying on the kitchen floor, so I think I'm gonna call it. I know I'm not gonna read anymore tonight, so there's no other update I'm gonna have to have. Obviously, I'm making dinner. You can hear that in the background, but yeah, it was fantastic, and I'm hoping that my next reads will be just as good. Let's keep this momentum going. And that's what I said. Girl. Yeah. You mind? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna post a vlog every time that I read one of my books in May. So I'll see you again when I read the next book. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.